Hey guys, three-time champ here, should be five-time champ, we won't get into that. Starting a new special called Hindsight 2020, where I quickly go through, look at your rosters before the week starts, after the week starts, make my projections and recommendations, and then we can compare them that Tuesday morning, see who was right, who was wrong, and what you should have done. We're going to keep this series relatively short and sweet, one, because your attention spans are putridly small, and then secondly, because this is top tier fantasy advice. You guys aren't paying for it, so you get what you paid for. We're going to start right off. I am not scripted. I am not writing anything out. I'm not re-editing, nothing. So take it for what it's worth. We're going to start right off. Doug versus Zach, week 1. And you can see Zach is projected. Let me zoom out a little bit. We'll just do that. Zach is projected to win pretty handily. He said, Doug, I don't even need to start a freaking kicker against you. Fair enough. Look at the benches. See, I'm sitting Henderson, mostly because Sony Michel, we don't know what workload he's going to get, and Henderson's thumb is banged up. I do think Henderson's the guy to own there, but we'll see. Other than that, my bench is We'll see. I have a feeling mid-year they're going to be pretty good. Over here, Zach actually has a decent bench as well. Connor, Dylan, Williams, all could start given an injury. They're going to be splitting work otherwise. Not really splitting, but you know what I'm saying. As far as starters go, I don't know how it happened, but Zach does have much better roster. Good for you, buddy. You drafted well. Yeah, Zach with an easy win. Let's see. Moving on from the first-time championship matchup, we're going to Biggie versus Tommy. Once my computer loads. And we can see Biggie's projected to win here bigly. Tommy also doesn't have a kicker in. Add 9 points. Biggie's still projected to win about 8.5 points. Let's see their benches. Biggie doesn't really have much of a bench. Tommy actually has Zach Ertz. I like him. He could be a lot bigger than expected. He's high on this B. Edwards guy. He's high himself. And, of course, Michael Thomas is good, but Tommy did pay a lot for him. Matchup-wise, though, Tommy has a Dallas quarterback in, so he's automatically going to lose. Matchup-wise here, I think Biggie has this. I'm not a huge fan of Trey Sermon or any San Francisco running back because any week they split carries some obscene amount. Yeah, I think Biggie, slight edge here. Not quite 9 points. I bet this is a close one. Moving on, we have Chad versus 2D Dave. Let's see how high Chad was on the back. Bench-wise, excuse me. Chad has an okay bench. We'll see what happens with Watson in Miami. That's interesting. Over here, 2D Dave must have been falling asleep on the couch. He doesn't really have a bench. I won't even pay $1 for these guys on the waiver wire. Matchup-wise, though, pretty good squads. It's so easy to look Travis Kelce here because he's in the tight end slot. I actually think Dave pulls this off week 1, mostly because his roster is geared towards the beginning of the season. Russell Wilson falls off end of year. Tyler Lockett falls off usually. Yeah, I'm going to go Dave here in another close one. Let's see, moving on. We have Rob versus Carey. And you see Rob has a picture of Chavone. Some might suggest that's The Rock, but I disagree. Carey's still in a food coma, has not set his roster since the draft. Lazy piece of shit. We have to look at benches here. I project Carey will probably put in Robbie Anderson and Kareem Hunt. That's probably not what I would do. I would put in Robbie Anderson grudgingly. Galladay's still hurt, and he has a new quarterback. Can't really trust him. I don't like Kareem Hunt. Never did. Never will. He didn't even kick that girl hard, but whatever. We're not focused on that. he's splitting runs with probably the most talented running back in the league. I don't care about fantasy-wise. Chubb is a beast. I would probably go David Johnson here. I don't think Phil Lindsay takes share of the backfield, but we'll see. Skipped Rob's bench for good reason. He does have D Swift. I'm not big on him. A lot of people are, though. What do I know? Henry Ruggs, looking like a bust early, but I think receivers don't really mature until year 2 anyway, so that could be a good ad. T.Y. Hilton actually came on at the end of the year. It's a shame he's hurt right now. People kind of slept on him. That might be a good ad as well. Starting lineup-wise, I don't hate either roster. Rob's team is very volatile, and you'll hear me use that word a couple more times by the end of this video. But a lot of his players split catches and runs with other players. Jonathan Taylor splitting with Mack. Ronald Jones splitting with Fournette, although I think Jones should take that backfield fully. T. Higgins, that's 3 good receivers in that city. Schuster, really you could say 4 receivers are splitting the work because James Washington is no slouch. So I expect a lot of volatility in his team. This week, I'm excited for Mecole Hardman. I heard Tommy talk trash earlier. Tommy forgets that week 1, Kansas City second and third receivers blow up. Normally, I'd agree with you, bud. Not this time. Love him here. However, I think Carey does pull this off because McCaffrey's actually healthy week 1. We'll see how long that lasts. I think this matchup is going to be tight. Probably the tightest of all, actually. And if Rob won, I would not be surprised whatsoever. Taking Carey by a point or 2. Next, we have Clarkie versus Butchie. And draft day, I didn't really like Butchie's team. Started reading up on Jerry Jeudy a little more and studying the situation. I actually love this guy. I wish we drafted today because Butchie wouldn't have him on his team. Butchie actually has a very good starting roster. I let him have Thielen, more floor than ceiling. You can't be upset with any of this. This is pretty much the battle of the anti-vaxxers between Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. I like it. Clarkie's team, solid up top, started to fall off. I think Clarkie got too high. Let's look at their benches. Neither of them really have a bench. Clarkie has Chark and Jones. You never know what's going to happen with these two, especially being on the same roster. He's probably super bullish on Sony Michel. I am not. I think it's just going to be like a little weasel. Kind of like a KFC from Barstool Sports, if Carey knows what I'm talking about. And Fournette, I wouldn't pay $1 for him either. So, on that roster, Butchie for the easy win. Sorry, Clarkie. And last of the week, we have D-Fran versus Peo. Former champ. Neither of you guys really have too good of a bench. Both have good handcuffs. I actually like Hubbard better than Pollard, not because of talent-wise. I think Pollard's the better runner. I think Hubbard's more likely to get into the game at a fantasy-relevant amount. I like Jamar Chase here. Not big on rookie receivers, though. But, hey, for a bench player, not bad. I think he drafted him round 6. Could be wrong. These two teams are what I was talking about for volatility. Joe Burrow still hurt. I think he's going to be good. Second half of the year, I was upset I didn't get him. D-Hop, you got to love him. Julio Jones, volatile player. Sharing workloads. A.J. Brown. Chase Claypool, don't have to talk about him. Michael Pittman even. You got Ty Hilton. I forget, who is it? Campbell on that team. Splitting load there. Lamb splitting load between 2 other good receivers. Chase Edmonds might split with Connor. We'll see. And Ayuk splitting with Samuels. Zach Moss here. I understand why I put him in here. Of course, I like Zach Moss. Week 1, not really bullish on him, but I actually like him more than Jamar Chase in his first game ever. This matchup, I have the former champ winning. Not by a huge margin, no. These two teams are going to be funny. They could probably win by 60 points one week and then lose by 70 the next. interesting how this pans out. So that sums it up for week 1, my early projections. I think most of you guys suck. We'll go over to the draft grades. Yahoo draft grades are ridiculous, but I do actually think Zach has the best roster and some possible talent on his bench, pending injuries, of course. I think Butchie's probably the second strongest team. He's down here with a B. His bench is putrid, though. A couple injuries, and he's fucking cooked. Other than that, yeah, they're my early projections. Let's see what happens.